Hey guys, what is going on? Lego Man Orange here, and welcome back to another video. And today I'll be comparing the Lego Ninjago Ghoultar 2015 minifig to the Lego Ninjago 2021 Legacy version of Ghoultar. So without further ado, let's get into it. So straight away, there are a lot of differences between these minifigs, but then there are some small similarities. So probably one of the main differences is the color scheme, because the 2015 Ghoultar has some of like this blue coloring. It also does have some translucent blue on the new Ghost piece, which is introduced in this time. And then like his armor is like this blue color, but he does have the same hat color in that purple, and then also the same translucent green head with like that sort of white printing. And then the legacy version of Ghoultar has a very different color scheme, where his is like this purple coloring with like dark blue, but he does have the same sort of hat in that purple coloring and a very similar translucent green head with that sort of white skull. And then also like the weapon piece is a little different, because the 2015 one has like this blue color inside of the weapon piece, whereas the legacy one has like this purple color. So first we'll take a better look at the 2015 Ghoultar. I definitely think this one is a little more better, because I do like the color scheme just a tad more better on the legacy version with like that purple and dark blue coloring. Whereas this sort of color, I really don't think it works, but it is pretty accurate to the actual Ghoultar from the Season 5 of Ninjago, because I do have a picture to the left of me while doing this video. But I also really like that translucent green color with like that sort of dark blue in the Ghost piece. But I do think the purple one is just a tad more better. But they are pretty accurate with like their shoulder armor piece, because like with the detailing for like droopiness and all that, that is definitely pretty accurate. And then the weapon, I definitely think is extremely accurate, because just looking from the picture, he does have a very similar weapon to this with only one of the pieces, not two pieces. So I definitely think this one is a little more accurate. But the color scheme for the legacy version, I definitely think works a little more better. And there is no sort of shoulder armor piece, because I'm not too sure why they did that, but I do like the torso printing for the legacy version of Ghoultar. And I honestly think there's just way too much purpose in this, with like the hat, and then like the torso, and then like the Ghost piece. Whereas with the original Ghoultar color scheme, I definitely think it works a little more better. Wow, this thing is really annoying to sort of put there with like the weapon poking out. So now that we've taken a look at some of the differences between these minifigs, I thought now we would take a look at some similarities. So starting off, the Ghost piece is the exact same in that translucent green, same piece, and then they do have some different colors on like it. We have a blue and then a purple, and then there are a few more similarities with like the weapon piece, very similar in design, but the original one is just a tad more bigger and with like this blue color, whereas this one is just a little more smaller with like this purple color. And then the hat, I'm pretty sure they are the exact same, but one does look a tad more different, but it is really hard to tell. And then the head is very, very similar with that translucent green, but the printing on the head is just a little more better on this one, because it is a white color, whereas this one is a sort of, it's really hard to explain. It's almost like a faded out white color, but they are very similar in detailing. Right at the back of the original one, it does have like this sort of skull at the back with like this sort of metal plate, whereas this one is just plain. And then the torso printing on the original one, I definitely think this one is a little more better, because I definitely think it looks really cool. And then this one does have some back printing, but I definitely think the legacy version is just a little more better with the printing. So, hope you guys did enjoy this today, because it was definitely really interesting to see some of the similarities and differences between a 2015 and then a 2021 minifig, because there is 6 years in difference, and I must say they definitely look very similar, but they also do have a lot of differences, and that's what I really like about Lego. But I definitely think the original one is a tad more better and a lot more accurate. I'm really glad we got to see a new version of Ghoultar instead of like a completely exact same version as like the 2015 one. But I definitely think the 2015 15 one is a lot more better than the Legacy one. They could have definitely made it a little more accurate with like the shoulder armor, like the weapon. But apart from that, I also really like the color scheme for that with like the purple coloring. But I just wish they maybe added more sort of a dark blue color like this one, because it definitely works a little more better, because not all the minifigs like purple, whereas this one is like blue, dark blue, a light bluish color. So I definitely do prefer the original one. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below, and which one is your favorite. And as always, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see you soon. Goodbye.